Welcome to TFP, the Theatrefolk podcast. I'm Lindsay Price, resident playwright for Theatrefolk. Hello, I hope you're well. Thanks for listening. Today, I am totally in the dark on what's happening with this YouTube Fireside chat. But first, let's do some Theatrefolk news. So our main newsletter comes out this week. It's the What's New at Theatrefolk edition. We have interviews with playwrights Christian Kiley and Clint Snyder as they talk about Chemo Girl and Lord of the Pies, respectively. I really like these newsletters because you get a little inside information about what it was like for the playwrights to write these new plays that we've got in our catalog. And for me, I'm going to be talking a little bit about my two new plays, Backspace and Shuttersome Tales of Poe. But more importantly, I'm going to be including an adaptation lesson plan. How do we take something from one genre and turn it into theater? I also have to give a really big shout out to Listowel Secondary School, who advanced to the All-Ontario Showcase level of the Sears Drama Festival with their production of Shuttersome, which they're presenting this weekend, which is also being presented along with another play of mine, Flaky Lips from St. Mary. Break lots of legs, everyone. I am so tickled pink that these plays have gone on like this. Lastly, where can you find this podcast? We post new episodes every Wednesday at theatrefolk.com and on our Facebook page and Twitter. You can find us on the Stitcher app, and you can subscribe to TFP on iTunes. All you have to do is search on the word Theatrefolk. Okay, so this is episode 40, and it is a YouTube Fireside chat. But beyond that, I don't know anything because my cohort, Craig Mason, hello Craig Mason.
Hello Lindsay Price.
He planned the whole thing this time. It's like a surprise dinner only with a fake fire and YouTube clips.
Yes, this is the YouTube Fireside chat, and what I thought we'd do this time, I thought it would be kind of fun. Well, let me ask you something.
Please do.
Close your eyes.
My eyes are closed.
Okay. What do the following titles of musicals have in common?
Oh boy, okay.
Golden Rainbow, Walking Happy, Coco, Pearly, and The Happy Time.
Well, the only thing I can imagine that they would have in common is that I've never heard of them.
Perfect. You've just got the topic of this week's YouTube Fireside chat. It's musicals that have been on Broadway that I haven't heard of and you haven't heard of. And I'm so glad that you have not heard of these because otherwise that would completely invalidate the topic of this podcast. I know,
and we'd have to scrap it and start over, which nobody wants.
No. And so what I did was I went on YouTube and I just hunted around. You know, sometimes I'll just type in like Tony Awards 1968 and just see what clips come up. And sometimes it'll be, shows that you heard of and shows that have stood the test of time. And other times it'll be musicals like this that I haven't really heard of. And, if you're screaming out there that you know all these shows, then good for you. I never see them performed anywhere. So
the only thing I would say is I imagine that Coco is about Coco Chanel.
Yes, you were right.
Awesome. But other than that...
But do you know who plays Coco Chanel?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
Surprise. All right.
Did you know that Katharine Hepburn was in
musicals?
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't.
Well, I don't know if she was in musicals. I know she was in Coco. Why don't we start with this one?
Oh my! No. Katharine Hepburn? I'm serious. I have no idea.
All right, let me flip to my notes because this is not the order that I'd planned. But we will start with
everything up.
Coco. This stars Katharine Hepburn. Now, these are all shows that made the. I should preface this. These are all shows that made the Tony Award telecast. So I don't know if they. Going back this far, I don't know if that necessarily meant that they were nominated, but I assume they must have all have been nominated shows in order to make the telecast. And my feeling is that just like the Oscars and the Emmys and the Grammys, more than anything, the Tony Awards, yes, they do celebrate achievement in the theater, but they're also a marketing tool, which is for New York theater, which is, why they go through all this trouble of televising the show. So my feeling always with these production numbers is that they should be numbers that make me, the home viewer, want to get off my butt and get on a plane and fly to New York and see that show. I mean, that's the goal. So the numbers should tell me something about the show, engage me, and make me want to see more. That's how I always feel about Tony shows.
I'm pretty sure that we saw that opening number from Avenue Q after we had been to New York, and we're kicking ourselves that we didn't go see it.
Yes, exactly. Disappointed that it was something we could have seen.
And Newsies is something that we never have to see.
Okay. So, what I did was, though, because what I did for this podcast was I allotted myself exactly 1 minute to research each show. So I have a little bit of background about it, but only what I could find on Wikipedia and write down in the period of a minute. Because I feel that you shouldn't really need to know. When you watch the numbers on TV, you shouldn't have to know everything about
it. Should introduce you to the world.
Perfect. All right. So this is what we have. We have Coco. It's a musical about the life of Coco Chanel. You're laughing. Starring Katharine Hepburn as Coco Chanel.
I didn't know she could sing.
Okay. Well, hey, you haven't seen the clip yet. Now, the book and the lyrics was by Alan Lerner, who we know from many shows. Lerner and Lowe, yeah. And the music was written by Andre Previn.
That's a very big,
yes.
Oh my gosh.
Very big composer.
Yes.
Choreography you're going to see was by Michael Bennett.
This is a
big time. These are big time shows. This is Katharine Hepburn, Alan Lerner, Andre Previn, Michael Bennett. Michael Bennett. The next show Michael Bennett did was Follies. Then the next show he did after that was Company, and he's also, of course, known for a chorus line, which was revolutionized dance on Broadway.
I am sitting here with my mouth agape because I can't imagine what we're going to see.
Okay, so we're now going to watch Coco on the Tonys. It's a 15-minute clip. We're kind of going to watch it, I think, and maybe talk about it as we go along, but
we'll see.
Why are you smiling? Is it because you were listening or because you were thinking of something else?
Because only you, Coco, at your historic age, would decide to defy the natural order and become a mother. The house. Naturally, you found one.
I left a bill of sale on your desk. Where are you going for your anniversary?
Home! 38th Avenue, Martin. Good night, my dear.
And it almost sounds like it's a laugh track.
It does sound like it's a laugh track, and unfortunately, it's Katharine Hepburn. It's Katharine Hepburn. It's not. It's.
Well, that's the beauty of Katharine Hepburn. She always was Katharine Hepburn, right?
No, she wasn't. And there were lots of pieces that she did where she was, like, not a stereotype or a caricature. Like, this feels like a caricature. Say that 5 times fast.
I won't say make yourself at home. I've never seen yours. But I have nothing against your being comfortable. Is there anything you would like?
Just peace on earth, goodwill toward men.
And what do you have in mind for women?
I only have something in mind for one of them. I would like to marry Noelle.
See, this aired in the time when TV time wasn't valuable. Or there were only 3 networks, so they could put whatever they wanted and you had to watch it.
Yes.
We're 3 minutes in.
I can't.
I think we're watching the whole show.
I think we are. Well, I can't believe that the whole thing is 15 minutes.
I'm wondering if at this time they didn't perform live with the show. You know what I'm saying? If this was shot in their theater. Because you see the camera's probably on stage there, right? So I'm wondering if maybe this was just shot, in isolation.
I'm fascinated by the amount of talking that should be singing. Like these are like emotional moments. Like this young woman says, I'm never going to be you. I'm never going to fall in love with my work. I'm never going to have there's not a genius inside of me. Like this is a song. It should be.
Gone is all the love she had so much of. Never more to be, never more will she cast another spell. Through the winter night, now she dims the light. From the lonely bed she lay, wondering why in hell she stayed. Always Mademoiselle.
She comes from the school of performing, like the guy from The Music Man, Robert Preston, and who's the guy in My Fair Lady?
Rex Harrison.
It's sort of sing speak, eh? Like it's Katharine Hepburn sing speaking as opposed to this character sing speaking. Well, if we go on the theory that the piece that's being shown is supposed to make me want to go see the musical, I say we are 0 for 1.
You don't want to see this show?
I don't want to see this show. And there is an excellent reason why this show never did anything. I'm so fascinated because the song that we're being presented with has nothing in it in terms of its emotional core that is more interesting than
the girl.
The conversation between her and the girl. You know, if my dreams are too big for you, a better line than go pick them up at the flea market, but or I don't have a genius inside. That's a song, you know?
And I wonder too, the other part, the idea that it everything was supposed to be funny and hilarious, and they had this laugh track pounding in, and then all of a sudden you switch to this kind of sad, depressing torch song.
Yeah. I don't mind this notion that she's like so infatuated with her work, like she loves seeing her work.
I like that design element, the mirror, the way it's
down the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm now wondering that we should cut this off. I'm wondering if there's going to be...
Ooh, it's on a revolve.
Oh, cool. Oh, well, that's a cool. So we have a... when you watch the clip, there's a whole staircase that sort of rotates in with all the models, with all of Coco Chanel's clothes on it, which is a very cool effect. It's like on a circle.
Yeah. It's a revolve, but just for that part of the staircase. Wild. Ooh, I like this. Michael Bennett.
Yes. Again, though, did we need 5 minutes of ladies walking around? Like, you know, like how much... I got it after the first minute. I got it. This is her vision. This is her life. This is what she loves. Oh, my dear. Katharine Hepburn is also not a dancer. So what's really funny, too, is that it seems to be the big thing that's the problem on Broadway now is that, you need stars, you need stars, you need stars. Nothing's going to succeed without a star. Well, this is 1970. Did we really need Katharine Hepburn to make this show fly?
No, it probably would have been better without her.
I know, but so, you know, they keep saying that the problem of the present didn't happen in the past. Well, this is the past, and this is a definite problem.
Okay, that was
Coco.
Thoughts?
Well, I'm always flabbergasted when I see things on paper that are supposed to be winners, like the, you know, Michael Bennett being involved, or the caliber of the music in the book, or the fact that Katharine Hepburn, you know, is I can think of a number of movies where she's just, you know, she's just lovely. And this is just a hot mess. This is like, there's a lot of models walking around, a lot of talking, and a completely misplaced song. And a song where there was more stuff in the text that was songworthy. Okay.
This is a show called Golden Rainbow. This is a vehicle for Steve Lawrence and Edie Gourmet. Steve and Edie, who were
comedians.
Huge. Yeah, and they were huge in the Vegas circuit, the Vegas showrooms.
Okay.
It's a 1968 musical. William Goldman, one of the greatest books ever written about theater, called The Season, where he spent an entire season, 1968 season in Broadway in New York, and basically documented everything that happened that year.
Yes.
This show was featured in a chapter called Washing Garbage.
Wow.
Based on a play called Hole in the Head.
Did you say washing garbage? Or
Washing.
Wow.
As in cleaning.
As in cleaning
washing
garbage.
garbage, yes. So I haven't read the book in a long time. I don't remember what he had to say, but just the chapter name itself says to me that it wasn't positive. It takes place in Las Vegas.
Okay.
It features a widower who allows his young son to run wild in a Las Vegas hotel until his brother and sister-in-law come to raise the child for themselves. This might be the awesomest thing in the entire list here.
Every other night of the week, the curtain rises in the Schubert Theater on one of Broadway's brightest, swingingest, turned-on musical hits, Golden Rainbow.
It's a
Sorry, I'm going to pause.
It's a
brightest, swingingest, turned-on musical hit. Is
Right,
how it's-
wait. We have to say that again.
On one of Broadway's brightest, swingingest, turned-on musical hits, Golden Rainbow.
The town is swinging, moving, rocking, grooving 24 hours a day. A town of winners, losers, sinners, boozers, 24 hours a day.
I will say that they are going out of their way to be swinging and turned on, and not in a good way.
It's kind of a mix of like the 50s like Las Vegas jazzy and like go-go.
And what's really funny too is that this is, even though this is 68, it would seem to me that this type of movement and dance is on its way out. You know, like it's this sound is passé, like before it's becoming dated and passé before our eyes in 1968, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, we're almost at the end of the clip. We have not met
Stephen Eady.
Stephen Eady. Yeah, music and spectacle and movement for absolutely no reason. It just looks like.
See, then we have the Pegasus flying through the air.
Oh my goodness, there is a horse in the air. There's a horse in the air.
Yeah, like everything is just there to be there. It's like the whole number is what you think Vegas shows are.
Yeah, in this era. Well, and also the problem is that you could remove this number and who would care?
A number like this, you
I
go.
don't think this is a hot mess. I think this is a cold, congealed mess.
Oh, really?
This is a mess that is like, that's just like, it's past its time. It's been sitting around. It's creaky. It's not new or innovative. It's old. It is old, cold, congealed fat that's been sitting in the fridge.
See, I think it's a hot mess because.
Tell me why.
Because they just keep throwing extra things on stage, and none of it makes any sense. This isn't a Vegas number. This is this is a play.
It's a Broadway show.
So there should be some kind of narrative or something being explored in the song, and nothing is.
Well, there was a story that you told me. There should be an indication of that story. Like, this tells me nothing. I have no, other than the title of Golden Rainbow, I have no idea what this play is about.
This one is a Kander and Ebb musical.
Okay, so again, we have
get your big names.
People with credibility.
This is called The Happy Time. Features Robert Goulet.
Also credibility?
Yep. Robert Goulet starred in Camelot as Lancelot. He was the original Lancelot in Camelot.
Is this after Camelot?
I don't know what the order of events is here. This story is a prize-winning photographer returns to his French-Canadian village after, I think, 5 years away. He is seeking the happiness that he had in his childhood.
You know, it's a very strange thing, huh? But the memory plays tricks. You see, every time I take a picture of this rose, it reminds me of something else. Something, another place, somebody long ago. Home, maybe, huh? But where is home?
So this opening effect's kind of neat because this is, today it would be replaced by a digital effect, right? A projection. Now, what I find funny is that this takes place in a small French-Canadian town.
Yes.
Robert Goulet is a French-Canadian.
Yes.
And yet, for some reason, his accent sounds really
fake.
phony. Yeah.
Come back with me, huh? Would you mind? Yes. Come back with me. And remember a Christmas morning.
The music is very pedantic.
The frosted glass, the dancing.
I'm very bothered by the title, The Happy Time.
The Happy Time!
Why can't it just be Happy Times? Or The Happy Time seems just...
I like his voice. Do you like his voice?
Yes. You know what? It's very funny seeing a young Robert Goulet. He looks very different.
You can see why he was...
Lancelot, 100%.
Yeah. I think this won the Tony for worst props. Did they forget to bring the picture props over to the theater?
I guess.
Seriously, he's got a stack of white paper there.
He does.
I will say this. It does actually a really good job of setting up the show and telling you what it's about.
We have been set up. These clips are very interesting to me thus far as really how the musical has changed. It's not out of the ordinary to take a lot of time to sort of ease into things. Now, these are not good musicals, so maybe that's a problem. But I just compare to what they show on the Tonys now.
It's tighter. But I mean,
slicker.
The Tonys today they're trying to entice those of the MTV generation to come see shows.
Yeah. Yes.
This is enticing someone who would sit and watch a 15-minute clip from a play on TV
with so much more talking than I expected. Although I'm not,
and I think even at this time they had plays on TV, like live. They would do live. In the 50s anyway.
In the 50s they did.
A certain girl, some certain girl, he's bound to happen along, come along one wonderful day. You'll see her smile.
Okay, so what I'm going to say about this one is that I at least I know what the world is, and at least I know what's going on. I will say I don't care. It's not engaging to me, and we didn't meet enough of him. And I wish he sang a song about himself rather than The Happy Time.
We haven't been introduced to the main conflict.
No, not at all. And now we've moved into a silly story, a silly song, which again tells me nothing.
This is basically everybody ought to have a maid.
This is basically everybody ought to have a maid. But everybody ought to have a maid gives me some character background, on the three guys. I don't know anything really about there's a godson and the father and then the guy. And it's really more about the having them dance.
You know what is the time period? Because this is a total ripoff of Everyone Got to Have a Maid.
Loving is serving. Because you're living, you're loving is serving.
Yeah, this is a total ripoff.
I agree, though. I think that was a total ripoff of Everybody Ought to Have a Maid.
Yeah.
All right.
Next.
I believe there is a good reason why we have never heard of these musicals. And it's what's so really devastating is that it doesn't really matter if it's a good musical or a poor musical.
Okay. Yeah.
Just think of the time. Like years went into making that musical.
Well,
right?
I think that's what's maddening about creating musicals is that they take so long to make, they cost so much money to produce, and you're still not guaranteed of even with talented people, they're still not always capable of coming up with something amazing.
And why is there?
There's something about the genre that's really, really hard.
Yes, and just like why can't people sort of look at that piece like that and just go, this isn't good enough. Well, maybe they do. I don't know, and they just don't run out of time.
Or it's out of town, and it was a hot mess, and then it got to this, and this was a huge better thing. I'm saying this is way better than what they had before.
Yeah. Okay.
Who knows? All right. So here's another one. Oh, let's go. This is another show with Happy in the title. This is called Walking Happy. I believe the piece features an actor named Norman Wisdom. Well-known comedian at the time.
Okay.
The New York Times called this musical a late, slight, occasionally charming pastime. So not exactly a Sondheim type review, It tells the story of a boot shop owner who is trying to marry off his 3 daughters. In 1 minute, that's as much information as I could find.
Boot shop owner?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's the kind of walk you walk when you feel like crowing. There's the kind of walk you walk when you're on your way.
It's really neat choreography. And what I love is that it's little 8 counts of movement exploring how one moves and how one feels when they're happy, and it just never seems to really repeat itself. It just keeps. I don't know who the choreographer was. I should look that up. But it just keeps growing.
If this is the opening number, it's a pretty great opening number just to go like, okay, here we're setting up a world and we're setting up a character and he's in a certain mood. And I'm going to assume that that mood's going to change, and that's fine. But you just want to know what the setup is. And I agree. It is a wonderful example of how something as simple as a walk, can be movement as opposed to just, wandering around, and is very clearly choreographed dance, but fit in the world.
Yes, and unlike the I've already forgotten the name of it, Golden Rainbow, all the movement comes from character and story.
Yeah, it fits in the world.
Yes. They don't have people just moving just because they need to have people moving.
Oh my God. And there's women dressed with bustles that are hilarious. They go out at least 2 feet behind their butts. It's awesome. Okay, we have come across the first musical that I'm like, all right, I would like to see this.
Yeah, I'd love to see the choreography from the rest of the show. I'd like to see what else got done.
Well, there's a very specific theming going on here. Everything is fitting together. The way that the characters are singing, the way that they're acting, the way that they're moving, the way that the set looks.
Mm-hmm. It's a really good example, too, of dance that isn't necessarily dance.
Yes, it's movement.
Mm-hmm. It's you could teach someone to do this.
Yes.
It's a lot of like body part leading,
Yes.
You're leading with your head, you're leading with your legs. It's a good example for movement class too. To
Walk you up when you're afraid that you are late. There's the kind of walk you walk when you're kind of late.
Yeah, we should find out who this choreographer is, because this is very appropriate.
When I looked it up, I think I didn't recognize anybody's name. I think that's why I didn't say who did it. Yeah, I think it's an English show.
It's got that sensibility to it.
Well, everyone sounds English.
Yeah.
Danny Daniels is the choreographer. Oh, American. He also did the choreography for the Tap Dance Kid. But it's great, too, for, putting a large amount of people on a small stage and not having them be on top of each other.
Right.
It just looks like it just has a full feel rather than a crowded feel.
Yes.
I just love that it just keeps exploring. It keeps...
It's amazing how much different movements the choreographer is able to create just by the act of walking and by the act of character walking and by the act of on your toes, on your heels, knees bent, legs straight.
And just a simple little ending, too.
Very simple. Oh, it was enjoyable.
Yeah, I thought it was quite lovely.
Yes. Oh, I like that one, Craig.
Yeah, I would see that show.
I would see that show, too.
You never will.
I never will.
Okay, so this next one's another epic 13-minute clip. I've only watched the first part of it, and it's actually two musical numbers, but from the same show. I've only watched the first one that I thought was certainly notable enough to have a look at here.
All right, let's watch the first.
Definitely watch the first one. Maybe we'll have a look at the second one.
Maybe we'll be so overwhelmed and overcome with joy that we just must keep watching.
Well, let's. This is a musical called Pearly.
Okay.
Starring Cleavon Little, who we know from Blazing Saddles.
Oh, okay.
He's the sheriff from Blazing Saddles. Also starred Sherman Hemsley from The Jeffersons.
Yeah.
Yes. This is a musical. I did not write down the librettist or the composer. I think it's maybe because I didn't recognize their names. It is a story of a preacher who is attempting to emancipate cotton pickers in the Old South. And that's all I've written down about this show. So the number we're going to look at is Melba Moore.
Okay.
Singing I Got Love.
So basically, whether or not we know the lyricist and the music, the actors are top drawer.
Do you know Melba Moore?
Mm-hmm, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, she's very top drawer. Although she looks quite young in this clip.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's 1970.
Every day is sunny 'cause I got love.
I could see this as an American Idol song.
Yes.
It's got the pattern, that quiet intro, and then the explosive chorus.
So what's very interesting is that it was so interesting how she starts off slow and in command. You're waiting on every word. Mm-hmm. It's a perfect example of how
she draws you in.
She draws you in. You don't have to be bombastic. You can make us wait.
Mm-hmm.
I will also say though that so she's dressed as a young girl, and she does not sound like a young girl. The song does not fit a young girl. So I don't know anything about this show. So I mean, I could be just talking out of left field, but I'm going on just what I see. She's acting young. Looks young, and it just doesn't. To me, it doesn't fit. I don't buy what the character is selling me. And she's fine. Like she's a great. The singing is.
I picked this because her voice is unbelievable.
The singing is just remarkable.
She just keeps killing it. Each new.
Well,
it grows.
The
song grows.
The song totally grows. I'm really surprised. I've never heard of this song though.
It's a bit anachronistic too. It's because it's a very contemporary type song taking place in a past time.
Yes.
I think she just kills it. Like every time you think you've heard the best thing she's going to do,
she just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah.
All right, Craig Mason. I am willing to listen to the second song.
Okay. So this number I haven't seen. It is called "Walk Them Up the Stairs." Ooh, I like it so far because I love gospel. Whoa.
I think her eyes rolled back like she's having an experience. Well, as an introduction, I love the sound. It's obvious a funeral. Like I get a clear picture of something. Oh!
I love it. Oh.
They just dropped the coffin. Oh my God, that is a great image. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I love that.
Wow, that's insane.
It's a funeral they're happy about.
It's a funeral.
It's the landowner.
It's the landowner. It's a funeral they're happy about. Well, okay, so, you don't need to.
Just in case people didn't see the video, maybe we should describe what happened. We were at a funeral.
We're at a funeral, and it's very straight, and it's very respectful. And they're holding there's a pallbearers holding the coffin, and then we just get to a point, and it's the. Where they all just basically slam the coffin to the ground,
and then it's the whole show takes a shift. Yeah, and now it's like a celebration.
And now it's so clear that these people are
have been freed.
They're being freed, and they're celebrating this guy's death, and now they're dancing with the coffin. Oh.
Well, how often do you see a play and go, "Whoa!" at a moment?
And now I kind of wish that I hadn't heard the intro description. I just had, but even knowing it, that moment was so wonderfully visual. You didn't need words to tell me what they thought, what they felt. This is another example too of there's a lot of people on stage, so they need very very simple movements, and it fits the world.
You know what? Yeah. If you watch the pallbearers are basically just doing step touch, step touch, step touch.
Yep.
But it's the way that they are selling it that elevates it to the level of dance. See, I think choreography doesn't necessarily need
formal movements.
Yeah. Well, they've stood the coffin on its end, haven't they?
oh, this is just so awesome. Like the combination of just celebration and the way they're like, treating the body, and setting up the world of the play. Now here's a great example of a song that just, it's not telling us the story of what's to come, but it's setting up a world, and it's setting up the emotional tone of the world. Like, there is no question who these people are, what they feel in the moment, and what they feel about the guy in the coffin.
Okay, and then after I said the thing about the step touch, look at the dancing now. It's amazing.
But again, so appropriate for the world. Like,
yeah, if you're staging anything with a gospel number, this is a must-watch for inspiration.
See.
Yeah.
Yep. When I think of gospel, I think that your arms are raised to God.
Praise. Yeah.
And again, just how the Walking Happy clip did so much with walking and the movement of walking. This
does the same with celebration and praise.
And arms, yeah.
Yes, this is to arms what the Walking Happy was to legs, right?
I'm so glad we have these two clips.
They move like Disney cartoon characters. Their bodies seem to have like joints in places where I don't have joints.
Yes, you or I would not be moving this way. And now we bring it back to
bring it back to a reverential. Well, I guess that was sort of like a fantasy sequence, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this is what's showing, and then what we saw in the middle was what they were feeling.
All right.
Love it.
I am applauding quietly so it doesn't hurt the mic. All right. Again, this is another musical I would seek out, and I am fascinated that we don't know this musical.
Was this a success? I think it was.
I think this
quite
was
enjoyed
a
it.
success.
I wasn't sure what was going to happen here.
Oh, I have to tell you, those first, what is so interesting was, okay, so the first clip we watched was 15 minutes long, and the last clip we watched was 13. And when you showed me that this one was 13 minutes long, I just about went, what are you doing to me? We've already been doing this an hour, and you're showing me a 13-minute clip. And it just shows you the power of well done stuff, because it was 13 minutes long, and I was in it to win it for the whole time.
Yeah, it felt like it was 2 minutes long, and yet it felt about a tenth the length of that Coco Chanel one. Which it felt interminable. It just felt so long and so. And so after the first three clips, I was a little worried because I'm like, I'm getting tired. Yeah, if I went to the doctor and the doctor said you have 15 minutes to live, I would watch, and you're going to find this hard to believe, because you would think that I would watch this clip. I would watch the Coco Chanel clip, because
it would be so long.
Because it would be so long. It would make the rest of my life seem so lengthy.
It would be your last 15 minutes would just last a lifetime.
I know. See?
All right. Well, I got to tell you, I'm so pleased that, and I'm so happy that you took the reins of the YouTube Fireside Chat this week. I really, really, really appreciate it. I always think that we're going to run out of ways to explore this little YouTube thing, and I don't think we are, because I think that there is a depth, there is a deep well of weird stuff out there. And I have to say too that you only covered 3 years, 1968 and 2 years, 1968 and 1970.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The later you go, the more songs you recognize, because
true enough.
Like I had to. My criteria was the shows that I never heard of before.
Right.
So once you get into like the 80s, when I used to
watch the Tonys.
Like other kids were watching the World Series, and I was taping the Tonys and watching them every single day after school. So, there's a lot of shows I know that I only know the one song that they did on the Tonys. So that would not qualify for this podcast.
Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, the 5 of you out there in podcast land who are listening to us, that's where we're going to end. Take care, my friends. Take care.